When you're a kid, your responses are never premeditated. It's never like you're going to think about it and then act maliciously, right? That's just not something that children do. They normally react off the natural vibe of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you yell at them, if you come at them angry, they're going to feel that and probably ultimately cry. And so forth and on with happiness and everything else. They're just like there in the moment. But as you subsequently go through things in life, you start to take on these characteristic traits of believing that the things that took place has to be known or in effect to anyone that comes into your circumference now because you went through this. And you know, I have this issue myself sometimes. Like, I'm always tempering my energy so I don't go into a rage about different things, right? Like, I'll walk away, I'll stay to myself, I'll meditate, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just try to keep that energy I came here with the subsequent value. And it gets very difficult because when you sit still and you sit to yourself and you meditate to yourself, you can hear almost every connection that you have came in with through some part of your life. You can hear it. You can almost like feel it. And it has to be fine tuned, but you can tap into that. And it gets to the point to where you can almost feel the intention of people. And no matter if you're positive or negative, people always have like this funny way of, I guess, absorbing their own reality. The only job you have to do is to remain how you came here through all of the experiences. The experience is something that you go through, but it's not something that's supposed to be attached to you because it's fleeting. The experiences don't hold. You can't carry an actual situation. You can't carry that with you. You know, you can talk about it forever, but you can't relive that situation the first time you relived it. This is why experiences are meant to go through. You just go through them and you gain what it was to be your physical body through this perception of yours in that experience. So it's not to say it per se it happens to you, because it didn't happen to your spirit. It happened to the body that the spirit is in. So that should give you more wherewithal to humble yourself when situations are taking place, because it's not you. It's the husk you got to deal with in this time. It's the casket you're dealing with this time. So the experience was meant for this individual circumstance. It was meant for this individual body to go through that. Otherwise, you would be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you came to go through these vibrations with that particular body, with that particular understanding for a particular reason. And maybe the merge in between the understandings is something on a dynamic level because of the weakness. Almost like saying, if I give you the handicap, could you still make it? Could you still rise in your spirituality? Because people will always complain, you know, a hit dog always gonna holler, but at the end of the day, like, is that actually important? How strong are you? Do you have to tell everybody your business? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you always have to go run out and say, hey, look, this is what's happening in my life. This is what I've been through. Do you never sit down and mathematically look at your own life and see how you put yourself in some of these things and start mathematically removing these qualities from your life, so therefore you can impress on your now and your future from the subsequent past? I don't believe so. I believe most people just tally on. They just tally on no matter what they did. Yeah, they did it. And they believe in this whole forgiveness thing. Well, knowledge, time delegates the agenda. You can't say you didn't know when you know. So how do you repeat the same process once you know it? Yeah, I can dig it. I really can't, but yeah, all right. And for the most part, you know, people's intention within themselves just has a heavy, dirty energy from the compilance of everything they went through. You're always gonna feel the loss of great things when you can't comprehend the motion of greatness in your life. That's like saying, oh, this dude won the lottery and then this happened. You gotta be prepared for everything that you go through. You gotta be prepared for everything that you dealt with. Divine doesn't give you nothing that you can't handle because there's a lesson in it. And sometimes you just gotta let things I was even watching like the wild animals. Like sometimes they'll act like they're gonna rush something just so they can scare it. You know what I'm saying? But they don't really they just don't wanna, you know what I'm saying, they wanna appear. And some animals will post up and make themselves look bigger just so they can appear. And see, this world seems to want to protect the pretense of comfortability so the mind is able to grow in consciousness. That's comfortability. But once you understand this, then you can set control markers on people. Like, let's disrupt the comfortability by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit gets stupid. And then people will sit there and really think about this whole wave with tarot and cards and everything being more accessible nowadays than it was back in the day. I remember back in the day, you can get a newspaper article and read your horoscope. You know what I'm saying? Now, everybody's like, yo, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's like more things breathe the ideology of what type of person that you are naturally, no matter what it is. You're never going to be anything but what you are. If I give you keys to a car, you're going to drive it fucking everywhere and probably drive it into the fucking ground. If I give you money for alcohol, you're probably going to get stupid fucking drunk. You don't have no moderation. If I was to give you a bunch of good food, you'll probably eat every last bit of it and mess up a bunch of it in the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a thought pattern. You can't pray for something to happen when it's not within you. Now, you also have individuals that block certain people because they know that greatness resides up in them. So it's like, oh, I want what you capable of doing, but I don't know how to get there. That's the telltale, the old story in the day. That's the same. That's, temptation. That's, oh, I want to be a hip hop star because everybody rapping and they got jewelry on, driving big cars. They got clothes. Like, you know what I'm saying? People lose themselves because they don't even know themselves. You want to be somebody else. And they said that's like the rawest form of flattery. But at the end of the day, it starts to become like, yo, why you want to be me, son? And then that envy is deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally can sit with myself for a very long time with no sound in my own circumference and feel fine that I'm not participating or particularly believing that I'm missing out on something. It's because I don't want to take nothing from it. I want to contribute. So when I come around, I'm always offering, whether it's knowledge or whatever I have. The sun gives out. It shines. That's just what we're supposed to do. But most people get the concept mixed up. So, I mean, eventually, this body ain't going to be able to contain how much I want to be able to shine. It is what it is. Where you going? What you doing? You already know the vibes. Naga.